So I met Mike, it was either 1989 or 1990. It was the first time that I worked at Apple. So this is my second time. And I worked in Mike's team. And then I followed him to both Go and Netscape. So worked with Mike for, nearly 9 or 10 years. And he, was an incredible part of my career and my life, and was really instrumental in teaching me many of the things that I know today. Mike was brilliant and incredibly tenacious. And so whenever we approached a tough problem, he was really creative in how he thought about it and came up with, sometimes at the time we thought crazy ideas about how to solve a problem or how to take a different approach. And so I remember, constantly being amazed at how he never gave up. He was so tenacious about going after whatever it is, whatever hill we were trying to climb. And that really taught me, about what it means to be a great, smart, creative, and tough leader in a business that's constantly changing. Mike contributed in some really interesting ways, and I think for people who haven't been around the industry as long as we have, they might forget. So one of the things that I really credit Mike with is when we started at Netscape, and we had this very unique business model about how we distributed the Netscape Navigator browser. And at the time, if you'll recall, pretty much all commercial software was really shrink wrapped and put in distribution and physical retail. Mike really created, while Mark's team really created the technology, obviously, Mike created this incredible, new business around how you distribute commercial software in over the internet. And we sort of had this free versus paid model, and we created these Netscape Now buttons, and it was one of the first viral campaigns I think ever around distributing commercial software. And now we look at that and we think, of course it's that way, because it hasn't been any other way now for a long time, and shrink wrap has gone the way of the dinosaurs. But that was really an innovation I think that Mike brought at a critical time in the industry, and really at the beginning of the commercialization of the internet. One of the other things I think that was really an innovation that Mike led was when we created Netscape again, and we had this browser, we had tons of traffic, coming to our website. And at the time, companies like Excite and Yahoo were really focused on search and directory services. And we started working with them as well as other content providers to provide really one of the first, again, commercial content portals on the internet, which now, again, has gone on, and people like Yahoo, that's really their core business today. So those were, incredible innovations at the time that Mike really led. And I'd say finally, one of the great impacts that any leader in Silicon Valley or any industry can have is the mark that they leave on people. And he really helped shape and train and form, many of the leaders in the industry today based on those of us who had the privilege of working with him. Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I mean, the first is that I think, like other great leaders in Silicon Valley, Mike had he set the bar incredibly high, and frequently, we would say, "Wow, that's too high. Like, we can't get there." But it's a sign of a great leader to really push people and to create opportunities to really stretch people, and he did that in an amazing way. But importantly, at the same time, he was the most loyal and caring person. And so, I work for Mike, again, over 3 different companies, and he gave me incredible opportunities. He helped me in so many ways. And he wasn't just like that with me, he was like that with a lot of people. So down deep, he was an incredibly caring person and incredibly loyal to the people that he worked with. And you don't always see that in your business relationships in Silicon Valley, but he was really unique and special in that way. Mike was very much, I'd say he's one of those work hard, play hard guys. And in the early days, we often met at his house, on Friday nights to, barbecue and have, drinks and have fun. And I don't know if you've heard this from others, but his dad, he grew up in San Francisco, and his dad owned a bar in San Francisco, and so he was an awesome pool player. And so we spent a lot of time trying to beat him at pool, which we were never successful at. But he was a lot of fun.